So out of the hundreds of reasons that we have to dislike Donald Trump, it is the case that even a broken clock is right twice a day. And Donald Trump, credit where credit is due, he's against the TPP and he wants to invest in American infrastructure. Well, unfortunately, that silver lining might not actually be a silver lining after all, because Bernie Sanders is exposing Donald Trump's infrastructure plan as the scam that it actually is. So Fortune explains, Bernie Sanders called Donald Trump's infrastructure plan a scam that only helps large companies and Wall Street billionaires on Monday. Trump's plan gives giant tax credits for private companies that invest in projects, lowering the cost of financing the project significantly. Sanders took issue with the tax loopholes afforded by the plan. Trump would allow corporations that have stashed their profits overseas to pay just a fraction of what the companies owe in federal taxes, he wrote, and then he would allow the companies to invest in infrastructure projects in exchange for even more tax breaks. Trump's plan is corporate welfare coming and going. Sanders noted infrastructure in the U.S. is in great need of repair and wrote that he would reintroduce the Rebuild America Act, which calls for the investment of $1 trillion over 5 years into American infrastructure. And honestly, this is no surprise to me. You have a billionaire who is looking out for his own interests. You have a billionaire who will get in office and do the bidding of his corporate buddies. So, I mean, if you voted for him, you voted against your own self-interest, because Donald Trump doesn't really care about America or the American people. What he cares about is getting into office and enriching himself and making himself more powerful. We all criticized Hillary Clinton for doing the same thing. He criticized Hillary Clinton for doing the same thing, but it was very evident that Donald Trump had the same ambitions. So this infrastructure plan, do we need to fix Americans' broken infrastructure? Absolutely. I'll be one of the first few people to say it, but we're not going to do it to enrich corporations and give them more corporate welfare. If you poll the American people, they are by and large against welfare when you use that term welfare, but yet we give welfare to corporations and billionaires all the time, and nobody says anything about it. Nobody bats an eye. For example, Walmart, they pay their employees such a little wage that those workers have to go and get food stamps. So our taxpayer dollars are subsidizing Walmart because they don't want to pay their workers a living wage. They don't want to pay their workers enough to even survive. Unacceptable. Donald Trump's plan is to economize any and everything. He's a neoliberal to the nth degree. What he believes in is privatization. He is a so-called small government conservative, even though he's pretty big government when it comes to a woman's uterus. But, I mean, Donald Trump is a fraud. He has proven time and again throughout his career that he is a con artist. How many times do you have to be sued before you get the hint? Donald Trump is a fraud, and this infrastructure plan is a scam. So Bernie Sanders is right for actually being aware of it and calling him out. So yeah, we're going to fight against you, Donald Trump, if you are going to give more welfare to corporations. If you want to do anything to help America, actually give some more welfare to the American people. Maybe throw us a bone, because you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Now it's our turn. Actually help us out. But again, you don't care. You were elected and you think you have a mandate, even though you got 2 million less votes than Hillary Clinton. So, you know, this is the type of shit that we're going to have to deal with. We're going to have to be very vigilant and acknowledge a scam when it's a scam. And sometimes that may be difficult. We may agree with Donald Trump by default on certain issues, like he's against the TPP, but be very wary of him because he is a con artist, and that's not going to change now that he's elected as president. It's just not.